Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dr. Catherine Macy, owner of Organise to Excel. We've been helping people overcome clutter and get more organised for over 15 years, and I'm here today to help you organise what you do with your time. Don't forget to click subscribe if you want regular updates on practical tips to organise your life. Practical tips to organise your time. What do I mean when I say time management? Time is impossible to manage. It just keeps on ticking on no matter what we do. When I talk about organising your time, I'm really talking about priorities. You can't manage time, but you can certainly manage what you do with your time. You get to choose what you do each day within reason, and that means you have some decisions to make. But what do you spend your time on? If you don't take a moment and take stock of how you spend your time, it's easy to fall into a routine that includes lots of wasted time. Keep a quick diary of what you do for a normal week, what you really do, not what you think you should do. And at the end of the week, look at how you spent your time. Was there anything you wanted to do but couldn't get to? What could you cut out of next week to give you space for important activities? The first step towards managing your time well is deciding what's important and what's not. Spending quality time with your kids, definitely important. Taking time to care for yourself mentally, physically and spiritually, important. Binge watching hour after hour of TV that you're not even that into? Maybe not important. It's important to note that great time management doesn't mean you're constantly in work mode. If you realise you need a nap at 3 p.m. each day to be a healthier, happier person, then that is important. There are always consequences to the choices you make. If you spend a couple of hours at the park with your kid, that's a couple of hours you can't spend on chores. If you take a 15-minute walk around the neighbourhood every day, that's 15 minutes every day you can't also spend making yourself a nice cup of tea and doing a crossword. Note that I'm not placing value on any of these activities. That's for you to decide. The point is to make choices about how you spend your time deliberately, instead of being passive and letting things happen as they may. When you take stock of how you spend your time, prioritise things that are important to you. Actively decide what you want to do, and you'll be surprised by how much more freedom you have than you think. The unexamined life fills up quickly with tasks that aren't important in the grand scheme, but have the power to change up your priorities, change up the schedule, and live more deliberately. You want to batch jobs? Think of them as big rocks. Once you know your priorities, things you really want to make the time for, schedule them based on the order of importance. So I use the fill the jar metaphor when discussing how to schedule tasks. Imagine you have a jar and your job is to fill it as full as possible. You have rocks, pebbles and sand to pack into it. What's the best way to maximise space in the jar? If you start by adding the sand and the pebbles first, the rocks will sit on top and won't even fit in the jar. The jar will look full, but there'll be a lot of spaces between the large rocks, and that's wasted space. But if you start by adding the rocks first and then the pebbles, and you can shake the jar and the pebbles will fill in the spaces between the rocks. You can add the sand, and the sand does the same, shifting into even smaller areas between the pebbles. And you can even add water on top of everything, and you'll have a genuinely full jar. And the most crucial tasks in your life are the rocks. Things like making sure you're healthy and that you spend time with loved ones can be rocks. Exercise, your daughter's birthday party, and keeping in touch with her grandmother can all be rocks. Schedule these things first because they are what makes a life whole. Pebbles are still very important but not as crucial. Although it might not fulfill you as a person, household chores need to get done and you should probably get to work on time. Schedule these things next. And sand and water are things you want to do but ultimately are not important. These are fun extra activities like binge watching Netflix, or scrolling through social media, or a mani-pedi. Or maybe mani-pedis are a pebble to you. That's okay. Everyone has different priorities and things that they need to be a healthy, happy person. The point is to think about what you truly need and want in your life and schedule those things first, then fit in less important tasks in the spaces between. You want to schedule work and play. Often I see people who schedule only the things they feel they have to do. Anything that they get to do is left to happenstance. But it's just as important to schedule vacations, time off, and naps that you need as it is to plan chores and work first. It makes your schedule look a lot more fun when you can see your upcoming vacation. If you're stressed and you look at your calendar and know there's a rest coming, second. Downtime is very important. I don't suggest all this scheduling to make you an unstoppable work machine. I suggest it for balance. Productivity is great, but without time to rest and recover, it's going to be a downward spiral into working so hard you burn out. Batch-like tasks together. When creating your schedule, batch like tasks together. Rather than scheduling each individual errand or chore, schedule a block of time and mark it errands, chores, and you can keep a list of what you need to do and work through that list during the designated time. That way you don't have to clutter your calendar with lots of tiny tasks. And batching tasks lets you get into the groove of what you're doing and get more done. Managing energy. We all have fluctuating levels of energy throughout the day. Maybe you're more of a morning person, or maybe you're more of a night owl. Armed with the proper information, you can maximize your most effective times to work and rest when you need to. So what affects your energy? Circadian rhythm, the natural process that regulates your sleep-wake cycle. It repeats every 24 hours in most animals, as well as plants and even in some fungi. Ultradian rhythms. These are a subset of circadian rhythms that occur multiple times a day, lasting usually between 90 to 120 minutes. And just like circadian rhythms, tell your body when it's time to sleep and time to wake up. Ultradian rhythms tell your body when it's in work mode and when it's in rest mode. To get the most out of your natural ultradian rhythms, start a quick journal to track your energy level throughout the day. When do you feel most awake? When do you feel the most low-key? You'll begin to notice patterns, especially if you adhere to that regular sleep schedule. And once you have a good grasp of your energy levels throughout the day, you can schedule your daily tasks accordingly and use your high energy times to accomplish more complex tasks. Incorporate breaks. Make sure to plan for food and water during high energy times. Don't just push through until your next scheduled break. That will always backfire. Just as you can use your high energy times to get stuff done, use your lower energy times to rest and recover. Plan for breaks to make the most of your highly effective work periods. And sleep hygiene. Sleep is one of the best things you can do to maximize your energy. Good sleep hygiene includes wind down time at the end of the day, a routine to relax into bed, and a bedroom that works for you. Take a look around your bedroom and make sure there are no lights that could interrupt your sleep, or wear a sleep mask. And make sure all work is out of the room you're sleeping in to avoid distractions, and keep screen time to an absolute minimum at night. Light from screens has been shown to interrupt the circadian rhythms. Put that phone away. I hope these tips help you establish the necessary habits that support your best life. There's no time for procrastination. Life is too short to procrastinate. Use these tips to help you get out of a slump. Know your why. Even the most basic task needs a reason behind it, or it's unlikely to be accomplished. If you're having a hard time motivating yourself to take out the garbage, take a moment and think about reasons why the garbage needs to go out, like it's more hygienic to remove trash properly. No trash means no trash-related odors. If you take it out routinely, the garbage won't get all the way to the top of the bin and start overflowing. It's easy to take out in the first place. Know how you are motivated. What keeps you motivated? The answer is different for everyone. Maybe you like checking something off a list. Maybe a gold star in your calendar makes chores fun. Talking about what you're trying to accomplish with someone else can be a great motivation too. Whatever motivates you, use it in the bigger picture. It can be easy to procrastinate on a project when you're deep in the weeds. It often helps to zoom out your focus and look at the bigger picture. Think about how accomplishing a small task helps you reach your overall goals. Even something as simple as envisioning cooking in a clean kitchen can help push you to get the dishes done over and done with, and break it down. Every project has tasks that are less inviting to accomplish, so knock them out of the way first. And if you start with the hard stuff, the rest of the project is all downhill, and you're much more likely to finish. And if a task seems too huge, break it down into smaller pieces that you feel you can accomplish. When I help someone organize their home, I start working with them on one small area first, instead of trying to organize the whole house at once. Smaller tasks are easier to accomplish, and the sense of accomplishment that comes with them is just as motivating. Break a job into pieces so you can celebrate success more often. Don't give yourself any room for excuses. Including other people in your project is a great way to do that. Accountability partners help keep you on task. It's easy to tell yourself, I can do that later, when you're the only person involved. If someone is relying on you to finish part of a project, that external motivation can go a long way. Talk to your friends, family and co-workers about projects you're involved in, especially ones you're stuck on. What motivates you? Let me know in the comments below. I always love to hear. I always love new tips and tricks to increase productivity.